Petra Power is a precision manufacturer of solid oxide fuel cell power systems. Solid oxide fuel cells are a technology that converts fuel directly to electricity without the need for burning it, so they're far more efficient and they're far cleaner than the combustion engines that we aim to replace.
Their technology is so cool because being able to take diesel fuel and not have to burn it, but be able to transform it into energy is something that's unbelievably needed for the market today.
It's been a long time coming. A lot of the path was kind of guided by some of the processes in Bright, but we're very fortunate at this point to be able to kind of grow beyond our shared facility here at Bright.
Companies like Petra Power exist because they want to create a better future, and their products give people a real chance to be able to achieve that.
I couldn't be more proud to work with the Petra Power team and Aaron and Philip and help them get their technology to market and take an idea from NASA, utilize their amazing talents and be able to put that into a business plan that is now growing employees and revenue in the state of Ohio.
Because Petra Power manufactures a solid oxide fuel cell, every aspect of their operation and their process is of high precision. Translating those requirements into the real estate world, and when you have landlords and subcontractors building traditional layouts, it's quite the tall order. I have observed other companies that I have not worked with, 24-month timelines just to be able to occupy their space. Petra's on a 24-month contract, so we essentially had to find space as quickly as possible. And the moment that the lease was signed, being able to try to condense that entire construction process into a matter of months so that they can get occupancy as soon as possible. And we took on that risk and we took on that challenge because their mission is worth realizing.
People are very rigid in the way they think about things, even the way that they approach kind of analyzing individuals' businesses. We had instances where owners couldn't really look past the fact that we were a company processing chemicals, even though really nothing we use is toxic. And so it's things like that that I think really limit the possibility for growth within the industry for a lot of companies, because they're not willing to take a case-by-case individualized approach to capitalize on opportunities like our company provides. We're not a high-risk tenant in any way. However, many people saw us like that, and subsequently they missed out on the opportunity to be a part of what we believe is very special that we're building here.
If you're a weak cog in this wheel, the whole thing falls apart and you're just stuck on the path and you're not going to move this thing forward. We genuinely need good design, engineering, and general contracting partners who want to be a part of transformative change.
We started in Mahoning County and quickly realized that the power requirements pushed us out of that county. And after that was kind of the driver that led us to Solon.
When we start out with the project, the address is usually known, the square footage is usually known, the program is usually known. But in this case, we knew the program, we knew what the owner wanted to do, we knew what their aspirations were, and most importantly, we knew what their timeline was, and that was the most stringent thing. So given the timeline restrictions and their responsibilities to their contract, we had to respond accordingly. So Desmond came up with, I think, 3 or 4 different test fits for a few different properties, all of which fit Petra's specs as best as they could, and then eventually they came upon this property.
This building is a really great building here at 6565 Davis Industrial Parkway. It met all the requirements for Petra Power in terms of having enough space for clean rooms and wet labs, and having a robust power infrastructure was very important for them, and the loading capabilities worked out really well. And I like to think too that Petra Power the team knew that they could work well with the city of Solon.
So it took us 16 weeks, 3 days to get from start to finish to final occupancy. A couple days there was 20 to 30 different people here working tirelessly to get this thing done.
It's about a 13,500 square foot space. I'd say the back of house is about 8,000 square feet and the front of house is about 5,000 square feet.
This new space will actually allow us to expand our production and research for solid oxide fuel cells. With the new clean room that's been added to the facility, we also expect a huge difference in increase in research and developments for the fuel cells that we're currently fabricating therein.
Building out a space like this, especially with all of the really complicated electrical and mechanical requirements that we have as a manufacturing company, is a process that really should take anywhere from 12 to 36 months, depending on what you're doing and who you're doing it with. But it's really a testament to the team that we have, the creativity of Jim and his team, the dedication of Solon and the Davis Development Group, that we were able to find a way to get occupancy of this space a mere 6 months after identifying it and signing the lease. And so we're incredibly grateful to the team for finding a way to work with our timeline and get us in here and working as quickly as they possibly could.
Well, it was music to my ears when Petra Power informed us that they were also working with Tipping Point to kind of help with the communication and help navigate the complexities of opening a company such as a fuel cell maker. This isn't a typical widget maker. This is, a fuel cell maker.
Tipping Point was very instrumental, as well as very accommodating and very helpful with that type of company, with that type of individuals that have a good understanding of not just the real estate market, but also finding the right people to actually help us with the renovations, construction, build outs. It's just been a huge lift off of our shoulders in terms of the burden in that particular area, which I confess I don't have much experience in.
It's hard to clarify how important it was in this project and how valuable Tipping Point was, because the fast pace of this project was one thing, but the owners, Aaron and Philip, they did great for being first-time builders, but they have a lot of other responsibilities in getting their business moving forward aside from this project. So that's where the value of Tipping Point steps in. They are the voice of the owner, they speak in the best interest of the owner, and when you make a few phone calls and nobody picks up, Tipping Point tends to be the phone that answers.
Working with Jim and Tipping Point has been great. You usually don't see that level of organization early on in the project. We were there before the space was even picked, and Jim put his team together and really helped the project thrive.
You always got to be a partner, and you always got to be optimistic, positive, and welcoming. You can't haggle with businesses, because if you do, they'll go somewhere else. And so you got to have that climate, that atmosphere. And we believe Northeast Ohio is a great community. It's wonderful. We have the metro parks. We have a great the Great Lakes. And so there's so many wonderful benefits. And the fact of the matter is, it's a lot cheaper to live here for people, for employees. And so you can buy a house for a quarter of the price that you would on the coast or down south. So it's a wonderful, place to live. You just have to say yes to business.
Ecosystem is what makes all of this work. And as we have startup companies that maybe are locating here from around the world, having a strong, vibrant economic development ecosystem where everybody knows kind of what the roles are and what their skills are and what they're best at is unbelievably important. And Northeast Ohio has that in spades.
We really felt that Northeast Ohio had given us so much to begin with. There are state and local and regional organizations all throughout Ohio, and especially Northeast Ohio, who have been generous with their time, with their counsel, and with their resources to help us not only get to the point we are right now, but continue to grow beyond that point. It was really the community that we built here, the network we built here, and the way that we have bought into this mission of revitalizing the economy in this region, bringing back manufacturing jobs, bringing back high-paying, long-lasting scientific and industrial jobs, and we look forward to being a part of that for the future.
Without Tipping Point, there's no chance that Petra Power would have been receiving occupancy in October of 2023. Their construction schedule and their timeline to be able to move in would have pushed well into 2024. Everything about this project is rewarding, because things like this aren't supposed to happen, but they did.
This was a very comprehensive project, and it required the hard work and dedication of a ton of different people. So a huge thanks to Jim Ambrose and Tipping Point Development, Jeff Pfeiffer and JPS Contracting, Aaron Davis and SVN, the City of Solon, the Davis Development Group here in Solon, Ohio, and all the other partners that are too numerous to name who've helped us reach this point.